When adamantium is on the line, will Laura Kinney Wolverine be willing to risk it all and go behind enemy lines? Well, let's hop into the pages of X-Men issue number 10 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the book, we're at the mutant hatchery. Laura is being reborn from one of the eggs, and it's here that writer Jerry Duggan goes out of his way to answer a question that X-Men fans have had pretty much since the Krakoa era began, and that is if Wolverine and other similar characters die and are resurrected, how on earth do they get the metal back in their bodies? Do they have to go through brutal surgery again? No, Proteus just puts it all back. Thanks, Proteus. But believe it or not, none of this is actually the story we're going to be dealing with today. You'll remember that the X-Men have been watching very closely Orchis' new base of operations on Phobos, the moon above the mutant colonies on Mars. Thanks to Rogue scoping the place out with some brand new technology, they know some very immutable facts right now. One, they can't just raid the place, security is high, and they have a steady stream of regular old civilians touring the place every day that they use as human shields. Two, Orchis picked up one of the discarded dead bodies of Nightcrawler back when he saved Mars during the events of Way of X, and now they're using it for some unknown nefarious means. And three, this base is stockpiling a hell of a lot of adamantium. How are they getting it? Well, every time Wolverine dies, he leaves a skeleton behind that these guys scoop up. Damn, mutantkind really needs to pick up their garbage. Laura becomes particularly interested in this adamantium topic once they realize that it seems Orchis has put some of that metal in what might be a small child or a young woman. And while indeed the mutants will be unable to pull off a frontal assault, there's nothing to say that they couldn't send in one stealth agent to scope the place out from the inside and rescue whoever this mutant in need might be. Laura, of course, jumping to the conclusion that this person might very well be one of the other clones of her running around in the Marvel Universe. This is a dangerous, ballsy mission, and all the other members of the X-Men team start taking bets on how long it's going to take before Wolverine gets discovered. Laura wonders if they would do the same thing if it was Logan in her place, but Cyclops assures her that if it was Logan, he would have started the betting himself. Laura waits in the rafters for Dr. Fei Long to see off a group of school children from his own nation before eventually getting herself deeper into the compound. Wolverine finds a stasis pod and opens it up, only to be shocked that it's actually Lady Deathstrike inside. One of the more prominent and well-known X-Men villains who has actually sat out probably the entirety of the Hickman era up until right now, and I guess this explains why. Wolverine and Deathstrike fight for a little bit, and it's implied that Dr. Stasis actually grabbed Deathstrike and put her in that pod so she could be experimented on, Orchis naturally wanting to understand more about adamantium. Apparently Dr. Stasis and the others didn't even fear Lady Deathstrike that much, viewing her as more machine than mutant, and well, machines they understand just well. The fight doesn't last long though, as we also discover that Lady Deathstrike is sick, suffering from the very same adamantium poisoning that once killed Wolverine. And because Laura started this as a rescue mission, she's gonna end it as one too. Unfortunately, Fei Long catches onto this and ends up blowing both of them out into the stratosphere. It's here that Rogue once again proves to be a real MVP, flying at supersonic speeds through a Krakoan portal and then slingshotting around Mars to rescue the two before they die. Why, Rogue even mentions back when they used to play baseball at the X-Mansion, she always had a real golden glove, and this is basically the same. Man, remember when the mutants used to play baseball? Why doesn't Krakoa have its own team yet? Lady Deathstrike is ultimately nursed back to health with some good old-fashioned Wolverine blood, but she doesn't stick around long. She might not be their enemy right now, but that still doesn't mean she won't change her mind in a little bit. Now, the rest of the issue actually focuses back in on Rogue, mainly her relationship with her newly returned mother, Destiny. Once again, Irene thinks Anne-Marie is wasting her time with Gambit, that he's well below a mutant of her station. Anne-Marie also thinks that Destiny should make more of her time now that she's alive again, instead of doomsaying every little thing. You know, a fan actually made a great point in the comment of another video, and that is maybe the reason Destiny has such a problem with Gambit and Rogue's relationship is the fact that it actively mirrors Destiny's own relationship with Mystique, and she sees something in it that she doesn't like in herself. Destiny isn't completely unhelpful though. She does manage to give Rogue and Gambit that little piece of information they need to finally track down Game World. Remember them? That alien casino planet that kept sending monsters to destroy Earth? It was a pretty big deal when this book started, but kind of fell by the wayside. To make a long story short, which is pretty much all I do, they decide to place a call to Rocket Raccoon, member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, who can give them the info that they need. Honestly, I'm shocked they didn't call him first. Also, Rocket not only has the information on Game World, he's currently gambling there right now because, well, of course he is. And so that was X-Men issue number 10, everybody. A perfectly adequate issue, but one that I felt wasn't nearly in line with this book at its best. They certainly sold me on the return of Lady Deathstrike, but honestly, she doesn't do all that much, and she pretty much just leaves when everything is said and done. I love the extra focus Duggan is given on Laura Wolverine. She's such a cool character with a huge fan following, and if you're going to try and elevate anyone as part of your X-Men run, why not her? It is a little weird, though, that all the new X-Men books that came out the last couple weeks were sold as a fresh jumping on point for Destiny of X, but this is probably the worst one if you haven't read any of the others. They reference so many other things that unless you've been reading since day one, you're probably gonna be lost. Overall, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7 out of 10. Good, not great. I hope the book picks up some steam later on.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.